Hi guys, my name is Summer. I'm an admin on Ketogenic Dieters. I've been on the diet for about 2.5 years now. And I just wanted to talk to you about New Year's resolutions and why they fail and why they succeed and how we can help you succeed and set good goals. So I made a little PowerPoint presentation here and I'm just going to go through it with you. I'm going to drop the link for this presentation in the comments and also the template of the form that I'm going to go through with you. So here we go. So, first off, the bad news. New Year's resolutions are made by about 40% of Americans based on my Google research, which, Google, take it for what you will, but 80% of those people fail. So, of the 40% that make New Year's resolutions, only 20% of people have success. Part of the reason is that New Year's resolutions can be flawed, and we're going to talk about why they fail and what we can do to help you have success. So, something about making your resolution stick. I found this quote in an article and I really liked it. The new year isn't meant to serve as a catalyst for sweeping character changes. It's a time for people to reflect on their past year's behavior and promise to make positive lifestyle changes. So, January 1st isn't the day to say, my whole life is going to change. I'm going to uproot everything and make all of the changes. If that's where you're at, then that's one thing, but most people aren't at that point where they can make broad sweeping changes across their whole life. So, January 1st, think of it as a time to look back on 2019 or the past 10 years, the past 20 years, or the past however long, and reflect on what you can make changes on that are positive. So everything about this needs to be positive. None of this is punitive. None of it is a punishment. Nothing that you're supposed to do is like a gotcha. So make sure you're starting from the right place of positive changes. So the first goal is, or the first step in making good goals is to start small. Make sure your goals are attainable. Know yourself, know your limits, and know your struggles. Know what you are capable of doing at this point right now in your life. And just because you're not capable of doing something right now doesn't mean you're not going to be capable of doing it in the future. One of the great things that I've found is starting to make a small change often snowballs into bigger changes. So if I had looked at everything I can do now 2.5 years ago, I wouldn't have even known where to start because I wasn't capable of making those other changes yet. So just because you can't do everything doesn't mean you should do nothing. Pick something and change that. And I'm going to assume that it's your diet and that's why you're here. So that's what I'm kind of going to focus on. But this can go with if you're smoking and you want to stop smoking, if you want to start a new hobby. This can go with anything, but I'm going to focus on the diet part because that's what this page is all about. Don't change everything in one day, and it's progress, not perfection. So this quote right here: sometimes the smallest step in the right direction ends up being the biggest step in your life. My life has changed by starting this, and it wouldn't be where it is if I wouldn't have started this. So just keep that in mind. It might not seem, you might see people on the page that are doing these amazing, wonderful, awesome things and think, oh my goodness, it's never going to be me. But they were you once. They understand where you're coming from, and they know that taking that one small step is going to snowball into bigger and better things. Change one behavior at a time. There's a saying that I've heard in a lot of different groups, this one included, that abs are made in the kitchen. So if you see somebody on Instagram, which don't believe Instagram, there's filters and it's not true, that has this amazing body and you're like, oh, I want that body. I'm going to go to the gym for 167,000 hours a day to get that body. It doesn't matter what you do in the gym if the kitchen isn't fixed. And so if you can only pick one thing to change, pick the kitchen. That's where you're going to make the changes. Um, and it's okay if you're not ready to go to the gym yet. It's really, really, really okay. Um, just start where you can start. And that's the best place to start. And if where you can start isn't where your BFF can start, that's okay too. Um, One of my very, very, very good friends and I are on the same journey, but we do it differently. Our goals are different. Our paths are a little bit different. The way we achieve it is different. And that's okay. Nobody has to do it exactly the same. It all matters what works for you, what works for your life, and how you get there. So if eating well is something you can do and the gym is something you cannot at this time, that's okay. You don't have to do it all. Every small positive change we make in ourselves repays us in confidence in the future. So what you do now is going to help you later. Maybe you'll get to the gym someday. Maybe you won't. Either way, it's okay. Talk about it. So this one's kind of tricky. If you follow the page and you see comments, a lot of the times you'll see I went to dinner with my family and they said, take a bite of this, whatever. And, my significant other doesn't support me and my coworkers bring me donuts and this, that, and the other. All of these things happen. And a lot of us tell you keep your eyes on your own plate. It doesn't matter what you're eating. It doesn't matter what they're eating and they shouldn't worry about what you're eating. Nobody told me that I should do better when I was driving through McDonald's every day. They don't get to have an opinion on what I eat now. So talk about it. Don't preach about it. Don't be better than anybody because you're choosing this diet. There are a lot of ways to skin a cat. This is just one way to do it. It's the way that I have found is successful for me. That doesn't mean it's going to be successful for somebody else in my life. And that's okay because all we should be worried about is ourselves, and all we should want is for everybody around us to better themselves in whatever way they get there, right? So talk about it here in this group. Talk about it with like-minded people that you know will support you. There are a lot of people out there that will say they want to support you, but really don't. Make sure you cull your circle to people that have your back. I have a very small circle. It's a very close circle, and it's people that will call me out when I'm making mistakes in a loving way that means they care about me, but they also support me. So I talk about this with them. I don't talk about it at work. I don't talk about it with family that doesn't do this. I don't preach about it on Facebook. Don't be that person. You're doing this for you. You're not doing it for anybody else. And come here to this group when you need support and when you want to talk about it, because everybody in this group should be supportive of you. And if they're not, let the admin team know and we'll handle it, because support is the number one thing. Education and support are what we do here. Okay? You're not going to be perfect. You're going to mess up. You're going to struggle. That's that's the way it is with everything. And especially when you start a new thing, you're not going to be perfect. Understand that now, recognize it now, and plan now what you're going to do when you do mess up. So when you do mess up, it's not like this, oh my goodness, I don't know what happened. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm just throwing the towel. I'm dead. That's not what it is. The biggest thing about failure is what you do after failure. So there's this saying that's fail is first attempt in learning. And it is. You're gonna fail, and own that and recognize that and plan what you're gonna do after that to get back on the horse. Because so many resolutions fail because you say you're gonna do a thing, you don't plan the thing, you don't figure out how to do the thing, and then you fail at the thing, shocker, and then you say, well, this isn't for me, I'm not gonna do it anymore, I'm just gonna be happy with how I am. And if you're happy with how you are, then by all means be happy with how you are. But you're here because there's something you want to change, and so be ready to change it. Okay? Never let a stumble in the road end the journey. That's the biggest thing. This is a journey. It's not a race. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon or an ultra marathon. It's going to take you day after day after day after day, choice after choice after choice after choice. And some of those choices aren't going to be awesome. And some of us are going to stumble more than others. Some of us are going to make bigger mistakes than others. It's not a competition. It's not about who does it the most perfect. It's about who keeps doing it every day. Because the person that keeps doing it every day is the person that's going to have the success in the long term. It doesn't matter if you're perfect for 10 days and then you blow it and you never come back. And then the person that's not quite perfect for 20 days is going to have more success than you, or than the perfect person. Does that make sense? Okay. Ask for support. So at Ketogenic Dieters, we're not psychologists, we're not dietitians. A lot of us have a background in nutrition. A lot of us have a background in fitness. We have degrees and certifications that back that up. But understand that we're not medical providers. We're not giving medical advice. But We've all done this. We've all been where you are. We've all lost the fat. We've all struggled. None of us are perfect. We know how to do this. We know why this works and we know how it works. So if you have a question, please ask. Okay? We want to help you. None of us are paid. None of us are doing this for any reason other than we want to help you. There is no fame or glory in being an admin on Ketogenic Dieters, I assure you. We are all here because we want you to have success. So ask questions. When you need support, post asking for support. But when you do, understand that you're going to get an honest answer. And if your question is asking for excuses on what you're doing, then we're not going to give you excuses on what you're doing. We're going to tell you what you should do to be better next time. And if you're not ready to hear that, then you need to step back and think about why you're not ready to hear that. If you post a question and an admin team member posts an answer and you get automatically defensive, take a minute before you reply. Step away from the keyboard and think about why you're upset. And if you're upset because what we're telling you isn't what you want to hear, if you want to hear just have that bite, it'll be okay, that's not what we're going to tell you, because we want what's best for you. So take a step back, think about why you're upset at the answer, and go from there, okay? And if you think we're being inappropriate, then say, hey, I think you're being inappropriate, and we'll answer that. Because sometimes, like, we're people too. We make mistakes. We're human. Sometimes we might come off a little bit snarky or something, and we shouldn't. Maybe we've had a bad day and we're putting it on the page, and that's not something we should do. We're not perfect either. We make mistakes. So if you feel like we're in the wrong, then say it. We're not faultless, okay? But when you ask for support, be ready for the answers that you're going to get. Okay, so one thing that I want to talk about is SMART goals. It's something that's used a lot in corporate America, which you can have your own opinions on corporate America or not. But SMART goals are a really, really, really good way to set a goal that's going to work for you. So SMART goals is an acronym. The S stands for specific, the M stands for measurable, A stands for attainable, R stands for relevant or reasonable, and T stands for time bound. Okay, so I'm going to go through a SMART goal that I made, and I'm going to drop this template for you guys in the comments also. So everybody can make a SMART goal. You can do a PDF print of it. You can share it. You can do everything. So let's go through this. So first, I want you to write your goal. So my goal is I will track my macros of 170 grams of protein, 75 grams of fat, and 20 grams of carbs in Cronometer, which is our recommended tracking app, and meet my protein, stay under my carbs, and within 10 grams below my fats, 10 grams below so 65 to 75 grams of fats every day for the next 60 days with 90% success. I don't say 100% success. Why? Because we're not perfect. I will weigh and measure all of my food prior to consuming. I will plan my days in advance of my first meal. I will meet my electrolytes of 5,000 to 7,000 milligrams of sodium, 50% of that number in potassium, 350 to 500 milligrams of magnesium via food and supplements. So that's my goal. So now we're going to go through our SMART goal template, and make sure this works. So S, specific. What do I want to accomplish? I want to lose fat. Notice my goal doesn't say anything about losing fat, but my goal is that I want to lose fat. Why do I want to accomplish this? I want to feel better about myself, become healthier, and be more self-confident. What are the requirements? I need to meet my macros. What are the constraints? I must carefully monitor my food intake and make sure I'm using the food scale. M, how will I measure my progress? I will track my foods in Cronometer to make sure I'm successful. How will I know when my goal has been accomplished? When I reach 60 days from my start date. That's my time limit for my goal. Attainable. How will this goal be accomplished? By pre-planning my foods, tracking, and being honest with myself. What are the logical steps I should take? I should plan out my meals, grocery shop only for foods I need, sorry, there's a typo there, and use Cronometer every day. Relevant. Is this a worthwhile goal? This goal will help me gain health. Is this the right time? I am ready to take on the challenge now. So that's a big question that you have to ask yourself. Am I ready for this? Do I have the necessary resources to accomplish this goal? I have Cronometer on my phone. I have a food scale at home. I have all the cooking utensils required to make my meals. And I also have Ketogenic Dieters, the Facebook group that this is for support. Is this goal in line with my long-term objective? My long-term objective is fat loss and body recomposition. This will help me set good habits. How long will this goal take to accomplish? 60 days. When is the completion of this goal due? March 1st, 2020, which I think is about 60 days. I honestly didn't do the math. When am I going to work on this goal? I'm going to start January 1st. So let's list potential problems that will keep you from achieving this goal. The point of this is to get you to recognize those hurdles that you're going to have to overcome. So holidays are a struggle. Family gatherings can be a struggle. I have 2 little kids. Fixing their meals, getting them food can sometimes be a struggle. Work functions. My work likes to do dessert potlucks. Getting caught out without food and having to eat on the go. So you're stuck in traffic, you do something with the kids and you're out longer than you're supposed to, and your lunch is waiting at home for you and you can't get to it. Being tired. I struggle from depression and anxiety. Sometimes those factors can impact your ability to do anything. So it's just something that you need to be cognizant of if mental health is something you struggle with. And then action items. So what am I going to do? I have all these grand plans. What am I going to do right now? I'm going to download Chronometer on my phone. I'm going to read the Fresh Start Guide on Ketogenic Dieters. Brenda just did a video post on that, and I will link the Fresh Start Guide in the comments below. Also, I will post once a day in group, whether it's to comment on another post or start an original post. I will be active every day in Ketogenic Dieters. I will plan my week on Sunday. So on Sunday, I will sit down. I will make my menu, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or breakfast and dinner, or however you choose to do your meals for the week. I will input all of the food I'm going to eat every day. And number 5, I will prep meals ahead of time, batch cooking. So I make my lunches on Sunday. So I have no excuse for the rest of the week not to have a lunch. I know exactly what it's going to be. I know what my dinners are going to be for the week, so I can grocery shop accordingly. I know what my breakfasts are going to be for the week. I know that I've met my macros. I have set myself up for success. All I have to do is follow the plan that I've put in front of me. Goal completion date, March 1st, 2020. So I will drop this in the comments, both this one and the template that you can make a copy of. If you click on the link, it will automatically make a copy. It's a Google Doc for you to have all on your own, so you don't have to worry about making a copy on your own or whatever. It'll just do it for you. If anybody has any questions, please ask below. I'm going to ask, we have a couple of admin team members that are New Year's resolution success stories. I'm going to ask them to comment below so you guys can see what they've done and how it's been helpful for them. I wish everybody a healthy and happy new year, and I hope to see you active and on the page for a long, long time. Have a good day, guys.